let's just look at the patrols coverage workflow, right? So with the patrols coverage workflow, let me just go back here, vertical dots, and say edit, continue. And these are the parameters that you can define, right? Name, description, data source, by default, then again, you have your time range. So you kind of get that consistency, right? So that, like I said, it's easier to use, it kind of becomes muscle memory about what parameters lie where and what to do with them, right? Then you have your time range, then you get to actually specify which elements from your database you want to analyze. So now here you have an opportunity to choose which patrol types you want to analyze from your Ethereum database, right? And you can choose multiple. So this would be the similar kind of process we did with event types, where we were choosing which event types we want to analyze. Here we get the opportunity to choose which patrol types we want to analyze for. Now with the patrols, because in Ethereum you can associate an event within a patrol, right? Here you have an opportunity to choose both patrol types and event types, right? Because they basically have a mutual or they're relational as far as you being able to create events whilst you're on a patrol. So this would be the opportunity. Well, this is where you'd be afforded the opportunity to do that. And then you have your advanced configurations, right? Where you could say, okay, choose by patrol status, or you want to filter by patrol status done, patrol status 2. Let's take another one and say, let's say still active. So you now get the opportunity to say you want to which specific patrol type, event type, as far as the patrols are concerned, the status of each individual patrol based on the patrol types that you have chosen, right? So we're going to say done, active, and let's just choose one last one. Let's choose the ones that were canceled, right? So you want to quantify all of that information to see how many were done, how many are still active, and how many were canceled within the daytime range that we have selected. And talking about the daytime range, let me just go back up and let's pull it since the first month. That's fine. So this would be about 8 months worth of data. So hopefully we get a tending result as far as our dashboard is concerned. All right, and then we say, how do you want to group the data by category? Right, patrol type. Yeah, that's fine. We don't want to use patrol serial number, and you can add again with the groupers, multiple groupers based on what you're looking at adding to the site, right? And then you have trajectory. What do you want to differentiate tracks by color using the selected category, right? That's the tooltip. So I'll say differentiate them based on patrol subject, but you have other elements that you could choose. Because we've selected patrol types, right? We'll say differentiate them by patrol status, right? Because remember, we chose the status of the different patrols. And then you have your advanced configurations, which would be similar now, because both patrols and events, it's the previous two advanced configurations that we saw. Is it just the segment filter, right? And you'll see those are in there. Event location filter. This is where you add that bounding box that we saw earlier, but you could filter for exact point coordinates, right? And then you have your base maps, which I'm not going to look at again because you've already seen that. And then how do you want to define our bar chart for events? We're going to say you do them by month, all right? And then the time density map as well, similar to the one we saw earlier for events, grid cell size, and coordinate preference system, all right? But like I said, for the most part, I leave these advanced configurations as they are, and I just focus on the data that I know how to filter for, right? Once I'm happy with this, I'll say submit. Oh, sorry, let me just choose something arbitrary, group by, do another category and choose serial number. Okay, now you see this is where it gets into a clash. I kind of have, they uncorrelate, right? Category, so let me say time, and let's use month. Okay. Time, month. All right, that's fine. Then we'll say submit. Submitting. There we go. Now we're ready to run this workflow. right? As you can see, our patrols workflow, we're ready to run. Our subject tracking workflow has successfully run, and it took 3 minutes, right? All right, perfect. There we are. A minute later, our patrols workflow has successfully run, and I can click on this. No, actually, I just want to click there and view it, and there we have. So because of the parameters that we have set, we have 1 dog patrol. That's total time of the patrol. That's the distance they covered, average speed, max speed, and I'm waiting for my dashboard elements to show up, right? There we go. So this is the entire track of the patrol, right? This is the events that were created on the patrol, which is only 2. And this is the time density map. So obviously, as the graduation of color gets redder, if you want to say, the more time they spend at a specific location. And then you have your patrol event bar chart, right? And that's basically what a patrol looks like. So if you wanted to do another different patrol type, I'd say, okay, show me special ops for the month of September. So the reason why we selected a batch of patrol types in our workflow, our definition, but we are only seeing these 2. This is because probably there aren't any other types of patrols on our data source site that exist, right? As you can see, even with this one, it's giving us very paltry data. We have 1 patrol, total time was 6 hours, but the distance was only 200 meters. Speed is nothing. So which means this was not actually a very conducive patrol. And we could go as far as saying nothing actually happened during this patrol, right? You can see we don't have a pie chart because there are no events. This is a time density map. We can zoom out. There we go. And then we don't have a patrol events bar chart related to it, right? So those are our patrols, and that's the patrol dashboard